Hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is at JumpTheStartF1. See you there. One guy that I do want to talk about here, and it's not going to be a fun year for this guy, Valtteri Bottas. No, I think you saved the drop for later. Valtteri Bottas started 8th, qualified 8th, and then he dropped back in the rain. He was 10th, and he was stuck in 10th for so long. We made the comment a few weeks back on the race review for Bahrain that would Valtteri Bottas have been able to come from the pit lane start that Sergio Perez did and be able to climb up the field. Now we know that the answer is probably not. This guy,
he's not doing it.
He had trouble. What's crazy is this is a great contrast here. It was 10th, and for a time, Lando Norris was 9th. Lando Norris finished on the podium.
Yes.
What happened?
Bottas lost 2 places right at the start.
Right at the start, yes.
So he probably spun through water at everybody, but I'm stuck, help me swim, you know?
Yeah.
And then when he finally got grip, he's already 10th. I can't go nowhere, I'm swimming. Okay, but
I mean, he didn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you can't go nowhere?
Here's what I think. I think that Bottas,
you think the pressure's getting to him?
Since we all know now that he is comfortable with showing his arse on TV, I think he might want to start exploring the options of starting an OnlyFans.
Oh, a Finnish OnlyFans. He's a blonde model,
dude. Let's put it this way.
Come on.
We saw. I was watching the F1 TV coverage, and I think they put it right where it was a tale of two halves, basically, for the race. We saw the first half, Bottas struggling to get out of 10th place in a Mercedes. And then the second half, we see, obviously, Hamilton with his issues, and we'll get to what happened to him. But he obviously fell back to, I think, 10th or 9th place.
Yeah.
And he finished second.
Yeah.
He fell
in the same,
and he was gaining on Max.
In the same car.
By the way, prior to Hamilton, I guess, going off the track, he was right there on lapping Bottas as well.
Mind you, on a track.
I think that Bottas was the next car, or was
to
Russell.
Lap him.
Yeah, to get lapped, to be able to get past.
On a track that's super difficult to overtake.
Yep.
And what?
So, yeah, man, just look out for that OnlyFans.
I think here's what I'm going to tell you, right?
The curse of the arse.
This is what I think is happening with Bottas, right? He got used to driving that Mercedes over the last couple of years. He was good. He had some good races, some not so good races. He had his issues. He wasn't like a world class, like whatever on that car. He wasn't Lewis Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what happened. Now the car isn't the best car for the grid. Now the low rate concept is hurting him. He's not able to adjust to the level that Lewis Hamilton was able to adjust. And it's throwing him off. We saw the issues he had in this race. I'm struggling to remember, like the last race in Bahrain. Did he really stand out? Not really. It was the two at the front and then Bottas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, he was just pretty much keeping guard.
He was
nobody pass me.
He was lucky that Perez was not there right behind him, because he would have got him.
Yeah, Perez would have gotten him, definitely. So the pace that the Perez showed in that race, Perez would have gotten past him with no problem, with ease.
I just think that Bottas is in trouble because now he's not as comfortable as he was with the car last year, where he had the same style car, the same rules, and the car was just dominant, right? Now it's going to be a problem for him to adjust to I'm going to call it a higher rake, to the new aero rules, to
challenges
to now being under.
It is what I've always said if you guys have listened to our previous podcast, and I always say this is what separates a good driver from a great driver. It is the fact that a great driver can adapt to the car, even if that car does not suit their driving style. So you hear Perez in the interviews during the weekend has said yes. And he says he hasn't come to grips with the Red Bull and that he has had to switch up his driving style in order for him to get on top of it. And that's what he's doing, and eventually he will. If you're and Leclerc is the same way, Max is the same way, Hamilton is the king of that, obviously. He's a 7-time world champion. They are able to take the car that is given to them, and Alonso is also, the car that is given to them, and take that car to another level where it's not supposed to be at. And all this criticism about Hamilton, that he's always in the best car. Yeah. Hamilton has won at least one race every year, regardless of the car.
And look what happened this weekend.
Exactly. So
can you give him a bigger challenge than that?
If you want to gauge these drivers and how good they are, look at that aspect. If you follow F1, can they take a car that's not necessarily good and put it in a position where it's actually on a podium or winning races?
So what happens as a result? What happens as a result of Valtteri Bottas not being able to pass anybody, staying down in the dumps, down on 10th place? What ends up happening? The accident with George Russell. Yep. Does that happen if he's further ahead? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's get into that. We all saw the replays. What?
No, I wasn't saying, and if he was in the front because of what happened to Hamilton, he probably might have been able to pick up the scraps, like we spoken before. Like, you have to be there, and you have to defend your, or be there with your team or your companion.
Absolutely. So perfect, actually, because now he didn't get points.
Nope.
Now Red Bull is nipping at the heels of Mercedes. It would have been a perfect opportunity because Perez had a terrible race himself
to pull ahead.
You need to have. I said it while we were watching it, right? Right now, Valtteri Bottas is the Alex Albon of Mercedes. He is just in outer space.
I remember the comment from yesterday, and I've been dying to say. I just didn't remember the guy's name. I didn't remember Albon's name. That's what it was.
You're going to forget Bottas next year?
Yeah,
too?
probably. We probably all
Gone
will.
with the win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but like now in the championship standings, it's much closer, and it's a result of just Bottas not being there. Mercedes would be miles ahead right now. Perez, his car stopped in Bahrain. He had so many issues. This is a guy new to a team that, he should be having these issues. And Mercedes should be capitalizing more so than they already have. And they can't because of Valtteri Bottas.
Yep. And he's being unqualified by Perez also.
Yep.
Because remember, I mean, Perez had his issues and made a lot of mistakes, but he did qualify second.
I was going to say this. Would the beginning of the race, Max getting past Hamilton, not going to say easy, but it's because Max flew off of the, he jumped the start. He jumped from the start. But if Bottas was there, I think they might have had some kind of, a small cushion on the attack.
Well,
remember, all right, let's say, for example, Perez did get, the same thing, he got second.
Mm-hmm.
Bottas probably would have gotten third.
Yeah.
Oh, right behind Max.
Yeah, but what did he qualify? 9th?
Yeah, because
and he didn't even.
No, but I'm talking about as far as
I got
being
you.
right there with your
but
team.
You saw it at the beginning. You saw how Hamilton got mauled by 2 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
He basically
that's
he had Max going up on
and Perez
on the right next to him, and the fact that he had to worry about Perez, he didn't even notice that Max was coming up behind him.
That's right. He pulled over.
He caught him by surprise.
The only thing Perez was missing was like a horn. Come on, let me through. You're blocking me here.
Wow.
You're holding up the line.
It's just that's exactly what happened, man.
So the crash, we saw. Well, that was on the start-finish straight, right at the end, right before the first going into that first turn.